A machine has came, and now it has gone. And it is replaced by Guns N' Roses, Not in This Lifetime by JJP Pinball. And this is the limited edition. This is number 496. And you would have seen the unboxing video of Rick and Morty, Spooky Pinball's Rick and Morty. I got rid of it. Now, the reason I got rid of it... let me turn the light off here. The reason I got rid of it is because the game was just... everything else was fantastic. Listen, everything was fantastic with the game. Code, assets, sound, art, everything was fantastic. But the actual gameplay of the machine itself, the way it shot, the way it felt, how fun it was, well, how not fun it was to me, it was just very disappointing. Coming from the same guy who made Total Nuclear Annihilation, it doesn't have much in it, yet I can play that game for hours and have just a blast on it. And that thing was challenging, but it was still so fun. It was so satisfying to play. Everything just felt really good. But it was definitely a brickfest. You try to shoot, all the things are just so hard to shoot for, and you're hitting the posts more than anything. Like these, you're hitting these posts, and I had to replace them a couple times. They wore out that quick. I tried playing it. I had it since November, and it's now October. And I got this thing in September. So I've had this thing for a good while, but I got rid of Rick and Morty, I think it was August. Got rid of it mid-August. Now, it was just, it's just sucks that I had to get rid of it. Because again, the layout was so much of a letdown, the way it played. So, and because I'm limited on space, I've got 1, 2, 3. And that's enough, unless get rid of my mum's desk space here, which that won't happen. Plus, I don't have more money for any machines, so we're pretty much going to have it just at free. I have to be picky. Each game has to be different from each other, and 2, well, it should be number 1, fun to play. That one's fun. This one's fun. This one is holy shit, just fun, and gets you right into being a concert. Just look at that. So, Guns N' Roses pretty much was unexpected get. I'll say that. Because I originally after I got rid of Rick and Morty, I made the decision to get rid of it. Because again, the game just kept pissing me off. It just didn't feel like I was having fun at all. Occasionally I'd have a game where I could shoot everything right. But every other time it's just pissed me off. Especially that it was my dream theme. A dream theme I wanted. And it was just not that good to play at all. Just not fun. It was good when you watch it, but not when you play it. So I got rid of it, and I had a couple games in mind. I had Iron Maiden, the Premium Morelli, and Elvira's House of Horrors. Now, because of COVID, pretty much the prices for games are stupid. Absolutely stupid. Elvira would have been 14 grand. This is in Australian money. 14 grand. If you bought it used, maybe but 13 was 13 and a half brand new. But sometimes it'd be 14, a little bit over, fine. Or it'd be less, 12. But no, people are selling it for 16 and up. 16 and up. And that thing, even though I love the theme and it's a fun game to play, it's not worth 16 grand. This thing is worth 16 grand. You look at this and compare this to Elvira's House of Horrors. It's not got enough in it to warrant 6,000. Oh no, 16,000. 16,000, excuse me. This thing costed 15 grand, brand new, if you bought it straight from a distributor. So already I was just saying, okay, I can't get Elvira's House of Horrors, and I've asked around, looked around, and then someone said, oh, I'll sell it for retail, and oh no, wait, I'll hold on to it. There was a couple of those that would say we'd sell it, and then they would flip-flop again. Flop, I'm not selling it, I want to keep it. Oh wait, I do want to sell it. Then I just said, you know what? Screw it, I can't get either game. Even Iron Maiden's just crazy money now. They don't pop up. So I think I might look for something else. Or I might just stop. And I had the plan of, I think I'll just wait. I'll wait till something came up. And this was that something that came up. I was talking to a back and forth to this guy that had a House of Horrors. He was in Sydney. He was saying he'd sell it. And it sounded definite. And then I was not hearing from him for a couple of days. And I literally said to him, and this popped up on Facebook. I just saw it pop up as soon as I opened the app on one of the Australian Facebook groups we have, the Australian Pinball Facebook groups. And it was one of my friends that I knew was selling this. Guns N' Roses. I just saw that and I thought, oh, it's going to be a crazy price. Someone from Sydney, Queensland or somewhere will be selling it for crazy amounts. I saw it was one of my friends, one of my good friends in the hobby. And he was selling it for a reasonable price. And pretty much I just commented, I wasn't sure about getting a guns. I just commented saying, looks fantastic, very tempting. And then he messaged me on Facebook and he said, I'll give it to you for this bro price, we'll call it. And it was it was a little bit less what he was actually selling it for, but it was just over retail. Little over retail, but not crazy. Not crazy. It was a reasonable deal that I don't think you'll see in this lifetime. Unless the bubble bursts. So I was thinking, I was like, holy shit. So I could get this for the price that Iron Maidens and Elvira House of Horrors are selling for, or spend that same money or wait who knows how long, even wait until Stern if they announce they're making more or not, which I'm leaning towards Stern's not going to make any more House of Horrors till maybe halfway through next year, but even then you'll be waiting, and I'm not waiting that long for a pinball machine again. Just even though I love it, I don't want to wait that long. And I was on lists as well, a waiting list, and I just went, you know what? I'm going to chat to this guy that has an Elvira House of Horrors. Unless he says to get it that he'll sell it for the retail price, he better reply soon, because if not, I'm getting this. And he came back. I texted him. I said, text back. Like I called him I texted each hour. Because he was, but at least even though my friend was willing to hold this, he was willing to hold it. He wasn't going to do any holds, but for me he would, because I know him. And he knows that if I'm going to buy it, I'll buy it, and I'll be straight up with him. So pretty much, I texted the other guy, had Elvira. I just said, are you going to sell it? It needs to be a yes, no, FOP. We need a yes, no price immediately because I got this deal. And pretty much, he came back and said, an hour later, and said, no, I'm not going to sell it. I chose not to sell it. Might sell it after Christmas, this and that. And I just said, I know this game. Not playing it anymore. So I just said, nah, I won't bother. I'll get Guns N' Roses. And I just called Eric and said, let's do it. And I bought it, and wait a few days. Because of COVID, I couldn't drive up. We're in lockdown. Well, at that time, we were in even strict lockdown. So I could have, if it wasn't for that, I could have easily, that same day, go up to Geelong to pick this thing up. But we couldn't do that because of lockdown. So we got a friend to get it in a couple days, and he was going to get it, and he came actually a day early. He came a day early. He was going to do Saturday, and then he came Friday to drop this thing off. And it was wrapped up, legs off. It was all paid for, but we literally paid for it that same night that we made the deal that was going to get it. And pretty much got it. It was all wrapped. Wasn't on the legs. Got the legs out and wheeled it inside. Put the legs on, and this thing is heavy. Every other Jersey Jack carry, like the ones up there, those are the Wizard of Oz and Pirates. They're wide bodies. They're even heavier than this, but this thing still had a shit ton of weight to it. So, let me turn the light on again. So I cut it, and I would see just this awesome, again, like one of the videos I posted, I just showed the absolute beautiful artwork this thing has. And this is just the limited. If you look at the collectors, holy shit. I'll just do it. So I could just see it was I could just see this, and then the rest it was all wrapped up. Now, I had to get the legs, put it all on, and it was a 2-person job. Because I could put these two on with it sitting back up like this, with the head up and strapped. But then getting it down, it was a 2-person job, and holding it up, I had to quickly get the legs in. We didn't want to get the dolly just for that one thing. It was buried in the garage. So we got all that done, and I had it set up outside, out there, close to where the kitchen was, and played it, and then we moved it in here, which we wrapped it in a blanket, because this head, this head's big, it was close to the edges of the door. The cabinet here, this could fit in fine, it's just the head. It's, I'd say, a little wider. It's a little wider, and it's definitely bigger here and taller. It's definitely deeper down. It's a different shape to what your Sterns are. So, managed to get it in, put it in here, plug it in, and just play it more. And this game is just, I've played it at arcades. You've seen that video. If not, go watch it. There's a video I have of just me showing the cabinet overview of the only one in location. Even though there is a standard, that I showed at Moondog World, that Moondog World has a standard edition, and I played that first. Then the one I showed you at which was at General Public Frankston that opened, they had an Ellie. They're two different games. So, and I've played them both a whole bunch. Put hundreds of dollars in quarters altogether. But now I've got my own one, and even just testing it out there, holy shit. It's just playing these and this for so long. It's insane how much is in it. Yes, there's the pooling. It has the washers on it. All the stuff. But it's all the stuff is dialed in. And it is working really good. Plays fantastic. This thing is cranking. I think I had this thing. Yeah. Usually I have it on 20. Sometimes I'll crank it up even more. And this thing is just... I think the only things I did to it were... I changed the two flippers there. They had the old... red, the old rubbers. I kept the other two on there, but on this I just replaced these two here. I had a couple super bands I haven't used I had it for another project I was going to do, and I ended up scrapping it. So I just put them both on the two front ones. People say put Titans, but the one that I played that had Titans at General Public Frankston, I found when the lights go off and it changing colors, you just don't see them as good. So I have these super bands. Pretty much. The rest, I think they use Titans here as well. I'm not sure. Because it seems like they use Titans. Or some sort of synthetic, I don't know what they use. But this thing, that I did that. I gave it a clean because it was a little dirty. I still got to. I need to straighten the record. I don't know if you can tell. It's a little crooked. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that. So you can see how crooked it is. There, it sort of slopes down, and if you shoot it up here, sometimes it can airball. And you can, especially when it spins, you can tell it's definitely wobbly. I have to do some more check on that. The only unfortunate thing is it's got spaghetti incident. I've got spaghetti incident on there. Hopefully, I can just buy another one because I want to put another album on there. If I can order one, I'll get Appetite for Destruction. Because Spaghetti Incident is a shit. It's nothing but covers, I think. I haven't listened to it in years. I think that, and the only other thing is the spotlight. Right there, you can see. If I can get inside. It's pointing up. Now, that thing is supposed to be straight, like this one. It's supposed to be in this position, straight down. This thing's on a slope up. It's pointing up at you.
Hope your ears aren't sensitive.
Oh, the service. The spotlight motor that makes it go up and down, for some reason, is just up. It's just locked up and up. I can push that down, but then when I power the game back up, it goes back to that up position, and it just moves left, right. It's never worked when I got it, so I got to get that replaced. Hopefully I can just get a whole new assembly. But that one's working fine, and that moves around and lights up the playfield. Because it's usually when a song goes on, the spotlight just shines, and that goes down the playfield. But that thing's just shining more in your face with this because the motor's not working correctly. That, and then the magnet, if I can get in. Magnet there, the next day started locking on because I could smell something, and then the balls kept locking on it, and I had to shake the machine to get them off. So that magnet is not working, so I just disconnected it. I kept the ground because as I checked on the connector there, the same connector, it runs this diverter and this flipper. So I just kept the ground because that daisy chains to the top right flipper and the diverter. But I actually find it plays better without that magnet. I'll have to check more about it, but so far I found when I did play it, it would just stop the action. Yeah, you can see that glorious screen. I think they use a 27 or a 32 inch. It's a big screen compared to that. But that's really a couple things with it, but I can fix them. And of course I moved those two posts. The two posts here, I moved this one from that hole to this hole. And this post right here, as you can see, it's got 3 holes. It was on the second one, so I moved it to the bottom. It still goes there a lot though. You gotta learn to nudge. I'm definitely learning to nudge this thing, but this thing is, but it can be a drain monster. Especially, it has a drain zone that goes right down to the middle. But hopefully it's just the record's not right, I'm not sure. I'll have to get that checked. And you got your lock here, comes down here a good amount too. So that's your coma. And if you got the collectors, you get the little lock. So it goes here into the little lock, and you have a special mode. And I am learning the rules on this. I'm learning the correct patches you use and everything to play it. It's definitely, I gotta watch the tutorial video in little pieces just learn how to play it, because it just gets way too daunting. Way too in your face if you try and do it and you have to try to remember them all. But this thing is just... And I had to... Oh yeah, and the other thing I had to do was I adjusted the screen here. I'll do another video showing what settings I have this on. Basically, this is pretty much a normal screen. I think it's a Wells Gardner screen. It's some type of arcade industrial monitor. It's not a regular computer monitor that you'd think. It's more of an arcade monitor. So you take this glass out and it's got a wall mount, and you pull it at the top away from the magnets, and then you flip it, turn it around to this, it'll come out to the side, and it's got adjustments, and you can adjust the brightness, contrast, color, temperature, and what it was set on was brightness was 100% and contrast was 50, so this thing was looking dull. Because I remembered it looking brighter, so I adjusted it, and it's looking a hell of a lot better. So I'll definitely be a lookout for that video just to show you the recommended settings. I gotta say, when you don't look, that looks a little dull, that screen, so I'll have to check if you can adjust it. So that would be nice. But but I doubt you can adjust that bottom screen. Maybe you can. I'll have to check. That, and I had to tighten that. That was loose. Same with the one up there. Post was loose. There's no rubber on it, but that's how it originally was. Score bit, unfortunately, for now it doesn't work. It just reboots this machine again. I'll have to mess around with it. Because I do want to upload my scores. I'm starting to get really good scores. My last good score was... Yeah, I like the videos it plays. Look at it. There we go. That's my highest so far. Of course, my dad gets the grand champ. There we go. I was close. I was pretty good though on that. So getting good scores on it. This is all up to date too, so definitely yeah, so hopefully I'll see if I can get some position where I can film. You'll get some better gameplay video of me playing this than Rick and Morty. That's why I did not film a gameplay of it, because it was just not worth doing a video of me sucking at it. This is better. You'll get better footage out of this. Just need to figure out a good setup. And I rather film it in another video, because being Guns N' Roses, then it's going to play their music. Universal Music Group, Geffen Records, all of them are going to think, oh, you're pirating it. You're putting the whole song up there. And it's just, even though it's just a machine I paid for that has that, and it's not the case. I'm not uploading the music, but that's YouTube for you. So I'll do another video and I'll see if it gets taken down or not. I just want to show you this. So it's just a little introduction overview of a new machine. And another, and there's another Bluetooth, and I got my headphones down there. My Bluetooth I use the Bluetooth, and that sounds fantastic. Surrounds you in the music. So maybe I might try and do that, do a direct hookup, and have video going here as well as a direct feed, because I can just plug in the headphone jack, plug that into my laptop, into Audacity, and sync up the video. That's going to be interesting, because I can't do it with any of these unless I get a pin sound board for this, which definitely getting that for this. So, and speaking of sound, the bass, the one thing about it, the sound, I do find it sounds a little different than the Jersey Jack because of the way these are done. I've never seen it since, I think I've only seen it in Pirates when I was at an unboxing party for Pirates of the Caribbean. It's odd the way they have the speakers. I thought the speakers are behind here, and they're still doing it now where the speakers are here, or right behind the glass. They're pointing here with a little tube, plastic tube going all the way up, and then these are like a horn. They point right at you, not speaker grill and then the speaker right behind you firing right at you. Like, this is a clear example. So it's an interesting setup. It sounds a little different. Not too bad. But the bass speaker at the bottom there, this one, and it's got some plastic. You can actually see the light through it. Yeah, that speaker is wimpy. I don't hear much from it. So a subwoofer I'm hunting down. I had another sub, but it's not working well for this. It's a weird ohms. It's not 4 or 8 ohm. So I'm gonna get another sub and put it back there, and I'll see if I can capture that on film, but not sure if my phone will. So we'll conclude this video right here. But I do definitely been a while since I filmed. It's been 4 months. Nothing much I could film. I can't go out. Arcade shut. Can't really do much videos, but hopefully if stuff opens and we follow our roadmap, I can film some more stuff, which would be nice. So, if you like what you see, like my videos, go subscribe, hit that subscribe button, hit the like, the dislike, comment, watch my other videos if you haven't already, and also follow me on Instagram if PinballCrow98, link in the description. And if you can, play one of these. Best music pin. I just need to say that. Best music pin. If you can't play it, hopefully you can find someone that has one. just play one. Standard or limited, you'll be good. Even though the limited's the best out of the two, because it's got the other playfield there. Right there. So I'll see you in the next video. And keep on